I know. What can I do? I'm in Hitler's bunker.
We're back. There's been some news over the evening hours that
Mm-hmm.
we must report on, and some hilariously poorly timed news from the local region of Cincinnati that we must report on.
Okay.
We will kick things off with the serious breaking news. Actually, 2 Microsoft employees have the coronavirus. So,
I'm fascinated that you led with that because I was just going over the comments on the website and was distressed to see a number of readers were complaining that this is not a tech story and that this is some kind of a clickbait something. Like, are you kidding me?
no, this
Yeah.
is. I mean, it explains why Microsoft. I don't want to say overreacted is the wrong word, but like swiftly reacted and said everybody's working from home because they knew that they had been.
Yeah.
The Microsoft Defender had been penetrated by the virus.
Oh, jeez.
Just kidding.
Yeah. So much for those heuristics, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, so Microsoft, that was announced over the oddly timed, like late last night, I guess, early AM hours, whatever you want to call it. And then some hilariously locally timed news. Alaska Airlines has announced a new direct route from Seattle to Cincinnati that's going to take place later this year. And I'm not even making this up. Like, this was the news this morning, and all the comments are that this flight is now known as the Corona Express.
I mean, seriously.
Like, you couldn't just like, wait,
You might,
that one
yeah,
up.
hold that one in your pocket.
Yeah, like-
wait a few weeks.
I saw that and I look, I'm like, really? Like
That's good for you, though. I mean,
yeah, I mean, Delta has a direct from
No, they don't.
CVG to Seattle that I've taken several times.
yeah.
But-
And you prefer Delta, pretty much, right?
I do, but the only problem is that there is a direct home, but it's really poorly timed. So potentially, maybe I'll fly Alaska home. I don't know. I mean,
yeah,
we'll see.
yeah. You can assess it.
Yep. Well, if I'm honestly going to be surprised if this flight,
Assuming Seattle is still around,
yeah, if it's still around, or if Alaska, this flight just doesn't get canceled, because I can't see that there's some high demand for this one right out of the gate. That's
Hey, there's nothing quite as pleasant as an empty airplane.
I'll tell you what, my flight home from what was it, Ignite in Orlando, going down the plane was jam packed.
Yeah, yeah.
But because I took like a 6 a.m. flight home, oh man, I was in Delta Comfort, which is like the normal leg room, but there was
Yeah, yeah.
nobody. I had all the whole
I know, it's the
section to
best.
myself. I could walk
That's the
around. I
best.
could take my well, I'm not gonna take my shoes off on a plane. I'm not one of those people. But anyways, so
Nice.
yeah. Just oh, the other good thing, which this one's odd, which you wrote up this morning. I saw this as just skimming the headlines that Sonos is killing their recycling mode, which is a good thing. It was a really odd thing to begin with, but
Here's I don't mean to go off on a rant here, Brad, but I
very unusual. Please, Paul, please
but
proceed.
I feel like there's been a lot of faux outrage over the Sonos stuff. I mean, granted, they didn't do everything right, of course, but they announced in January a trade-up program because they were going to bring a bunch of older devices, many of which were many years old, out of service, and they screwed part of that up for sure. They weren't going to allow them to be used or to participate in a network with the newer devices that were still supported, et cetera, et cetera. So they quickly backstepped on that. I think a lot of the outrage we saw online was from people who are not Sonos customers. There can't be that many people who have like an original gen Sonos and are active online and are consumer advocate types or whatever. It was just so weird. Like, but there's this controversial bit that they had kind of left intact, which was that if you had one of the older devices, they were going to let you upgrade to a newer device. They would give you 30% off, and then they would effectively brick that device, meaning you would have to recycle it, making the name somewhat ironic. Okay, but you understand the rationale for this, right? The rationale was basically like, look, you're going to get a 30% discount on something new. We don't want you to give this to someone else who will then get a 30% discount on something new. That was kind of the point. So they've gotten rid of the recycle mode now, which means that they'll keep track of the serial number. If you get the 30% off, you can still use the device, obviously. It won't be bricked anymore. You could give it away or sell it, but those people will not be able to get the 30% upgrade. So I think this closes the loop on. I was going to say on the complaints. Maybe the accurate thing is to say it will close the loop on the cause of the complaints. I think, look, they're a small company, relatively speaking. I mean, it must be hard, to support older devices, which came with what we would today consider to be constrained amounts of RAM and processing power, et cetera, et cetera. So whatever, but they're doing the right thing.
Yeah. So, anyways, never let the squeaky wheel gets the grease. But I think in this case it worked. It turned out all right. So,
I think so too.
Makes people happy. They probably are not getting
I
as much
wasn't
backlash.
upset when this happened. I wasn't upset when they responded. I am not upset now. Like if I've spent several $100s on Sonos equipment during this time. I feel that they've done well by customers. But
the next interesting one that is probably next up to be killed, probably not for several years though, is the actual Play one, not the Sonos one, but the Play one is.
Yeah. Well, but given the policy changes now, I don't think anyone can complain about how that thing will be impacted, right? Or the Play 5, eventually the Play 3, I think is a thing they used to have.
Play 3. Actually, I take that back. Play 3 is probably the next on the chopping block.
So, but the way things are now is if you want, you'll be able to get 30% off. If you want to keep it and keep using it, you can. It will work on the network. It just won't be updated. So I guess they're still working on some, they didn't mention this, or well, they didn't mention anything publicly. They told this to somebody else, but there's been no update on how they plan to support older devices with newer devices. They may have to be on separate networks or something or whatever, but you'll be able to use it.
The most Sonos thing ever is they'll sell you something called a legacy bridge that will bridge the new with the legacy.
Right. But you forgot the most important part of that puzzle. It will cost $450. Yeah.
It's actually just going to be one of these recycled ones that they
got. Like Sonos is expensive. The thing you have to understand is it's like, if you bring your 1973 Dodge into a oil place and get the oil, replaced, it might cost $30. If you bring your BMW into the dealership and get your oil replaced on your 2019 X5, whatever, it's going to cost $229.
Yeah,
like it's, that's the reality of that. It's a different kind of product.
Yep, and that's why I probably won't ever. Well, I'm not in the market for a BMW. Let's just put it that way. Just like I worry about long-term expenses with BMW. Like I've been looking at cars.
No, you should.
Crazy all the time.
As someone who has owned two BMWs, I can tell you that everyday things that you replace regularly, like tires or oil, if you do that stuff at the dealership, it's going to be very expensive. And we've only bought used, so why am I talking? It doesn't matter. Yes, the point is that stuff is expensive. You need to know that going in. Yeah.
Which is why I might buy an Audi, because Audi
is... Well, an Audi is, the same problem. So, well, actually...
not so much with Audis. I mean, Audis are fancy.
They're VW. So I was going to say, why not just go down this road? So we're talking about BMWs and VWs and Audis. So when we lived in Massachusetts, there was a dealership network in Norwood, and I bought the only new car I've ever purchased was a VW new Beetle back in 2000, 2001. I bought that there. My wife bought her VW, whatever she had, the Jetta thing. And then I bought a, did I buy it from them? I actually don't remember how I bought the car. No, I bought it used from a different thing. But I used to get my used BMW serviced at their BMW dealership. And we could bring our BMW to the VW dealership to get it serviced. And it literally was 1/3 the cost. It's the same company. It's the same company. And like Audi, like one thing, if you know this, if you look at these cars, they have a lot of the same parts.
Oh yeah.
Like they're this. I mean, the platforms are the same. I mean, they use the same car platform, but even in the car, like the switches and dials and things, a lot of those are the same.
Yeah, they've moved. It used to be very, very close, because my oldest brother, at one point had a VW Jetta GLI. And this is like 2000.
Yeah, so it's like an Audi A3 or whatever.
It was like almost identical on the inside to an Audi A4, I think, at the time, or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, it kind of. I mean, they've done away with that a little bit because badge engineering is no longer in favor. GM used to do that horribly.
Ford Mercury was like this. Ford Mercury Lincoln was like that.
Chevy, Cadillac,
Pontiac, Buick, Oldsmobile. They were
Yep.
That's the phrase Oldsmobile Buick, you know.
Yeah.
No, it's a fascinating tech discussion.
Yeah. Anyways, Xerox keeps trying to buy HP for some reason, and HP
Brad,
keeps saying
what are
no.
you doing? You have completely buried the lead today. I this is so out of character for you.
I know. I mean, it's intentional.
Or is it really?
I don't know.
You have a story about Cortana.
Oh, that one. Oh, that I wrote. We kind of talked about this.
I know, but you didn't say the name of it. I saw the story and I was like, I don't think you said that. Did you say the Microsoft 360? Maybe you just said it in such a way that I thought you were generalizing it.
So here's the story, because candidly, I completely forgot about it. Like, I'm like you. Like, I write things, I hit publish, I close it, I'll check it in like an hour, make sure nobody's in the comments going like, "Oh, you misspelled what Cortana?" Like, and then it's gone. It is removed from the brain. Anyways, so we talked about this a little bit. Microsoft has Cortana, right? They completely revamped Cortana and said, "Hey, it's a productivity assistant." People familiar with the plans or whatever you want to call it have said, "Hey, we've seen this referred to as the Microsoft 360. Wrong button. 365 assistant." I'm not. Then people ran saying, "We're going to rebrand Cortana Microsoft 365." Like, they might, but I don't know if and when. But Cortana no longer makes sense because Cortana is from Halo. Halo is not really known for helping you get through PowerPoint presentations, and so
I don't know. I feel like she could do it.
Yeah. Anyways, it just internally people are referring to it as the Microsoft 365 assistant. It's also coming to Teams. There's a trial right now where they have it like up in the very top where you can do the command stuff. Cortana can do things. You can say, "Hey, Cortana, add people to this," or if you're brave enough, "Hey, Cortana, send people that file," that type of thing. Those are kind of the big things. And then there's also this new commute feature, which builds upon the Play My Emails, which, if you're not familiar with that, it's an Outlook feature, part of Microsoft 365. And it's just, I think, extrapolating upon like, hey, what else? People could play their calendar. People could have it read PDFs to them. It could do all sorts of productivity things. And I'm pretty sure that's why the earbuds were delayed.
Yeah. See, I think this is, it's a story.
It is. Anyway, so Xerox wants to buy HP for some reason for the third time.
Right. I guess it's ironic, and ironic's not the right word. It's strange because what they really want is the printing business.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think most people listening to this podcast would probably agree that when they think of HP, they think of computers. They are the world's second largest maker of computers.
I wonder how large they are when it comes to printers. I wonder what
I bet they're number one, actually.
Yeah, maybe personal computer. I mean, when I think of Xerox, I think of like those giant things you see like in an office. It's like an all-in-one unit. And when I think of HP printers, I think of the little $89 thing you get at Staples, and when it runs out of ink, you throw it away.
Yeah, okay. But, back in the day, I mean, the HP LaserJet was kind of the standard for that stuff. And then if you think about printing as a business today, printing is not really going away. It's more of a business thing probably than a personal thing. Although people print whatever at home. I mean, it's still a thing. The beauty of that business is that even though printer purchases are few and far between, there's so many disposable, what do you call it? Consumable, ink parts or whatever that you always need to buy stuff for it to keep it going. And that's, I think, what makes the business. I don't understand what Xerox is anymore, to be honest. But I mean, Xerox owned a 30% stake in a printer business that was called something like Fuji Xerox or whatever. Tried to buy it outright, failed to do so. They sold their stake in that, and that's why they're going after HP. I think HP is Plan B in the we want to own the printer business for some reason strategy that they have.
I wonder what they would do with the with the laptops and stuff.
That's a concern, and yes. So I don't think. Yeah, I mean. Well, the Fuji PC business was pretty great.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea.
They should sell it back to HPE. That's what they should do.
HPE. Yeah, they could become HP. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
complete the Meg Whitman circle of take the company, break it up. She leaves and starts some random streaming video service and bring it all back together. And
then she runs for president or governor or whatever that was.
Anyways.
You could bring back Carly Fiorina, and then she could run the PC business into the ground again. That'd be great.
What's Terry Myerson up to these days? He knows a thing or two.
He's busy with some kind of a charity, isn't he?
He's venture capital.
Venture capital.
Oh, he also owns part of a soccer
venture capital
team.
Charity.
Seattle Sounders part owner.
Sure.
So maybe he could take that new whatever Alaskan flight to Cincinnati, and he could tell me what he's up to.
Goodbye, the Bengal.
Yeah, we would welcome this. I don't
know. Maybe what's that guy that owns the Knicks, Terry Dolan or whatever his name is? Mm-hmm. Maybe when he's done with destroying that team, he can move to Cincinnati.
The good thing is I don't think he could really destroy the Bengals.
He's like, I don't know. There's nothing for me to do here.
He's like, what? You guys make money, you don't win games. What? That's the dream, right? Like, you're not hitting your salary cap. So what's the?
Oh boy. Okay.
Yeah. So here we are. It is a Friday. Paul is in Boston for the weekend, right? Mm-hmm. I'm going to do experimental things in my house. I've ordered all the stuff. I think I know how to do it. I'm going to try to embed an LED strip in the bottom of a handrail this weekend. See how that goes.
A handrail, a horizontal handrail.
Well, it's the one going down. So here's the challenge: our stairwell is dark.
Yeah, so this is like ambient lighting for night or whatever.
Yeah, and there is an easy way to put a light, but it involved me going up in the attic, and my attic is filled with blown insulation.
Are you putting it on the handrail so it will be facing down, and the theory is that will light the stair,
Yeah. Just, it's not like, it's dark, but it's not like pitch black, so the idea is I'm going to take a handrail, which I already have, I'm reusing the old one, and then I'm going to cut a channel into the bottom of it.
Wow.
With a table
Once
saw.
Again, you have just exceeded. You've described the step where I'd be like, yeah, I'm not doing this. I could glue it or nail it or whatever to the bottom, but you're gonna, I don't know what's the term, just dig out a channel.
It's not quite ripping the board, but I'm gonna put the blade like, I don't know, probably a ½ inch, and then just run it a couple times so I can get the LED strip in there. And then what I'm going to do is take the power for that, and I can punch it through the drywall because there's electrical right on the other side of it.
Yeah, that was the part I was wondering about, because one of the ends you need, probably the top, I guess, you would need to somehow get it through a wall or into something to get it.
And that's the unknown, is that I ordered one from Amazon based on the pictures that would give me the smallest kind of like poke through. And I'm going to try to do it right where the bracket is that holds it on, so it's not
you won't even see it. Yeah.
If you do and then the idea being that it would I could link it into the switch, so when you turn the primary lights on, it turns on, and hopefully we'll solve it. We'll see how it turns out. If it looks like crap or whatever, then I'll just abandon it. But it seems like a neat idea. There we go.
I am continually amazed at your perseverance when it comes to this kind of thing.
Well, you eventually get so far in, and then you're just like, it's kind of like launching a flight from Seattle to Cincinnati. This was obviously
you might as well make it all first class.
Yeah. This was months in the making. At this point, what do we have to lose? And so they just run with it. So
sure.
There you go. Oh, the other thing that's kind of nice, not kind of nice, actually really, is that Microsoft announces that they're going to pay all their hourly wages employees or vendors the same amount they would even if they weren't all work from home, which is a notable gesture.
I actually think that's really nice.
It's really easy to say that's just a cheesy PR move, but it feels more
that's
genuine
a real cost,
than that.
Actually.
So,
like they were giving away the paid version of Teams to,
that's cheesy.
That's kind of a PR gesture.
Mm-hmm.
Actually paying people for the full amount of time, even if they're not working that amount of time, it's real money.
It's not. They have nothing to gain from it other than hopefully making employees
because
a
those
little bit
people
happier
would be
and more
disadvantaged
loyalty.
by some medical condition that no one had anything to do with, and anyway, that's good.
No, it's good, and so they announced that. They announced that last night, and I think that about does it for today. You got anything else over there, Mister Lounging on a bed?
I know I'm down in the bunker here. No, but I will say these guys have 1 gigabit FiOS, and that's not enough to make me move back to Massachusetts, but it is depressing to me. Yeah, because I'm basically, we have a robin that flies between telephone poles. That's how my internet works in Pennsylvania. So
just dropping packets.
Yeah, exactly.
They catch there. So fun.
Mm-hmm.
Fun. All right, folks. Well, that wraps it up for today. We will be back next week sometime, and we'll catch all of you later.